Are you struggling to stay focused, feeling like you're always behind, and wondering how some people seem to always be ahead? Well, in today's video, we're breaking down the secrets to true productivity so you can start working smarter, not harder. To actually break it down, productivity is a measure of how efficiently and effectively we complete tasks. It might seem like being productive is almost more overwhelming and difficult to do, but in actuality, it's often true that being productive allows you to get things done faster, and it actually gives you more free time in the long run. A quote that I heard and have not been able to get out of my head since is, "The cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived." If there are things you want to achieve in life, and instead of sticking to the bigger plan and doing things that align with how you want your future to look, you go by the way that you're feeling on a daily basis, you're robbing yourself of those things you could have had. The first thing we're gonna do is snap out of it. If you've been in a bit of a funk, if you've been in your lazy girl era lately, and you feel like you're just like a ball rolling down the hill, gaining momentum in the wrong direction, stop yourself right now and actually tell yourself that you're done with that. Like, you can even say it out loud. I'm done falling victim to procrastination. This new era of my life is going to be productive. So the first thing you're gonna do is make a mantra or a vision statement for this new period in your life. Get clear on what it is you want to do, what you want your life to look like in this next time period, and affirm it to yourself. You could say things like, I'm creating a life where my actions align with my highest potential, or every day I'm moving closer to my dreams by dedicating time to what truly matters. And keep that at the forefront of your mind. Remind yourself of it every day. Next up, efficiency is everything. Depending on the day, it can take me 5 hours to do one task, or it can take me 30 minutes of concentrated work time to complete the exact same task. Nothing changes in these two scenarios except my efficiency in working. If in the 5-hour scenario, I'm maybe trying to edit a video and I keep getting distracted, I am dragging out the task and making it take so much longer than it needs to. Sometimes I even build a task up in my mind to be this huge thing when in reality, it's so simple and easy to actually do. In the 30 minutes of concentrated and focused work, I do not have distractions. I'm not on my phone. I'm focused into my work. And not only does it take me way less time, my work is actually more efficient and productive because I'm focused. I'm getting in the zone and I actually get into a flow state. In the example where I broke up all of my work time and edited the same video for 5 hours, I kept breaking up my flow state by getting distracted and doing something else. Whereas by remaining on the same task and giving it all of my focus and attention, the work is actually higher quality and better because I'm able to stay into it. I honestly find that if I'm kind of in the middle of something, whether it's like writing an essay, editing a video, something like that, and I walk away from my computer, when I come back, I'm almost discouraged from wanting to get back to it because I kind of forget where I left off. Like, what exactly was I doing? You know, where was my mind at? I feel like I can't exactly always snap back into that mental state. So by doing focused and concentrated work, it is higher quality work and you don't have to do it for as long. And this brings us to our next point, probably the biggest factor in limiting your productivity: distractions. Limit distractions. I'm sure we all can attest to the fact that things like our phones, maybe other electronics, are huge distractions, and oftentimes they're one of the biggest culprits for limiting productivity. Here are some ways that I've began to curb that in my own life and reduce my reliance on my phone. The first thing is I've actually started to not carry it around with me all the time. I feel like we've become so accustomed to just having our phones on us at all times that I'm literally walking around my house, like I'm walking downstairs to get a cup of water, I'm holding my phone. I go into the bathroom, I'm bringing my phone. Go to make food, I'm bringing my phone. I carry it with me everywhere when I'm just walking around the house. I don't always need to do that, and I find that if I just like leave my phone upstairs and go downstairs, I'm talking to my family more, I'm more present, I'm spending more time with the people in my house. I'm not getting sucked into it. So this applies for work scenarios as well. If I need to be focused and productive in my work, I'll literally just leave my phone in my room while I go work in my office. If my phone is that far away from me, I don't even want to go and get it. This reminds me of the principle from the book Atomic Habits, where he says to make the bad habit difficult. By making the bad habit of going on my phone difficult by leaving it in my room, I don't want to do it and I'm not as likely to actually do it. Another really helpful piece of information that he touches on is making the good habit easy, like making the thing that you want to do easy for yourself. So for me, I want working and being productive on my computer to be easy. And for me, that means limiting my distractions, going and sitting down in my office by myself, having my laptop already out and ready for me to use, having the applications that I typically use already open. The other thing that I find really helpful for electronics specifically is to just turn your phone on do not disturb or set time limits on social media apps so that you can't spend your day literally doom scrolling. This might also mean that your best work is not done when you're around other people. I know that sometimes it's really fun to study with other people or do work with other people, but if I'm being completely honest, my grade A top quality work is never when I'm with somebody else. I can never give my full attention to the work when I'm with someone else. So this might mean going into a separate room by yourself when you're doing work, or putting on headphones so you don't really hear what's going on outside of you if you want to do your highest quality work. Put yourself in a productive work environment. This one is such a game changer, and for me it's why I actually created an entire office space for myself to use at home. Because I do all of my work from home now, I found that just sitting in my room, like where I do my makeup, or in my bed, or even just like at the kitchen table, was never quite as efficient as being in a designated workspace. This workspace doesn't need to be anything crazy. If you can find a little spot in your room that's quiet, or it could also be going to a place like a cafe or a library to do your work where you can really be focused. The other thing is making that space clean and organized. I make sure that my office space, and honestly all of my rooms in general, are always picked up. I keep them tidy, I keep them clutter free, because having clutter around, for all of us, I feel it just makes our brain feel cluttered. I feel like I can't relax and I need to clean first before I can really get down and do my work. Some other little things I love to do to really set up my space for a good productive work day are actually maybe lighting a little essential oil candle, turning on my diffuser with some focus essential oil. I also feel so happy to work in a space that is cute, so I made sure to make my desk setup really pretty and cute because that's something that makes me happy. So if you can, add some cute touches that are kind of personal and that make you want to actually sit down and work there. By making your workspace more appealing, it's going to make you primed to being productive. I'm going to take a second to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. If you aren't familiar with Skillshare, they are the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes that are led by industry experts in fields like film, freelance design, and more. There's a Skillshare class for probably everything you can think of, whether you want to further some of your hobbies and creative interests, or you want to pick up a new side hustle, or figure out how to optimize your workflow like I've been doing with productivity courses. Planning is one of the best things that you can do for yourself in terms of being more productive, and lately I've really been prioritizing actually learning how to better plan out my days in Notion. I've specifically been taking a Skillshare course geared towards organizing your Notion, and it has already helped me so much. For the month of November specifically, Skillshare is really focusing on gratitude, and I think it's really amazing to think about how pouring into your own creative cup and sparking creativity can truly just fuel joy, promote inner growth, and cultivate a sense of community. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so don't forget to check it out and get started today. Structure your day effectively. For me, I noticed that I'm definitely the most productive in the morning. I find that honestly, even at like 3 and 4 o'clock, I feel like I hit sort of a midday slump. I kind of get tired all of a sudden, and I just don't really want to be doing work anymore at that time. And then in the evenings, you know, when everyone's home, I want to go out shopping, I want to go for a walk at the park. I don't really want to do any more work. So knowing that, I make sure to get my work done before like 3 o'clock ideally, so that I have the evening opened up to do other fun things. Another great thing about that is it's kind of like an incentive for me. You know, if I get all my work done, then tonight I can go to the park, I can watch a fun movie, I can have a self-care night, I can go shopping with my mom. And if I don't, there's sort of a consequence, because if I don't get all my work done before then, I just have to keep doing my work throughout the night, and I hate the way that feels. Since I know that I'm most productive in the morning and that I love to get to work right away in the morning, and I have like the most energy in the morning, I make sure to do my most high energy and productive tasks in the morning. If you feel that your energy or your top productivity period is at a different time, structure your day to really cater to that. Because I know that I'm most productive in the morning, I prioritize waking up early. Done with my morning routine by like 8, and I'm ready to get started with the day. Make to-do lists. Guys, the power of to-do lists and of strategic planning, it's just unreal. And if you aren't utilizing that currently, there's so much untapped potential there. Sometimes I even like to make a to-do list the night before, so that way I rid myself of those kind of anxious thoughts about all the things I need to do by getting them down on paper. And additionally, when I wake up the next morning, I already know what that day has in store for me, so there's less left up to question, there's less decision making, and it saves me from some decision fatigue. But most of the time I make my to-do list in the morning. Even if I have an idea of what I want to do that day, writing it down allows me to free up my mind of all of those things that I'm holding on to, and it also allows me to structure them in the best possible way. One other technique that really always helps me is just reminding myself of my goals. If I remind myself of where I want to be, 10 out of 10 times always feel motivated. Like I feel a surge of motivation. If you have a certain person that you kind of look up to, or there's somebody who kind of has like the life that you feel you may want, remind yourself of that often. Make a little vision board, maybe set it as your lock screen, make a physical copy of a vision board and look at it every day. Remind yourself of why you're doing the things you're doing, because that always helps so much. If I go a while without thinking too deeply about my goals, or like like reminding myself of why I want to do the things I want to do, I do start to feel a little bit less motivated. And the second that I am reminded of them, or I see somebody doing something that I would love to do, I'm like refocused, let's do this. Now I'm going to tell you some techniques you can use that are good, kind of proven productivity techniques. The first one is time blocking. This is sort of, I don't want to say like an alternative to a to-do list, but it's a little bit of a different type of to-do list, more time focused rather than end goal focused. Essentially, you divide your day into blocks of time rather than working from an open-ended to-do list. You allocate a specific amount of time to each activity and you don't do it for any longer than that amount of time. For me, this is often like, I'm gonna spend 20 minutes answering comments in the morning, and then I'll spend an hour answering emails. That's all the time I have for that. And you can break it up into any way that you want, but by doing that, you increase your efficiency and productivity, and you actually know what's coming next. It also kind of gives you peace of mind to know that you have a finite amount of time to work on this thing. And because there's like a looming end to it, it does make you want to be more productive while you're working. Then there's the Pomodoro method, which is actually a variation of time blocking. You choose a task and set a timer for 25 minutes. Sometimes I actually do it a bit longer, but set a timer. During that time, you work 100%, you work hard, you don't have any distractions, and you're just doing it. And the reason that it's motivating is because it's only 25 minutes. Like as you're working, you're like, this is only 25 minutes, this isn't so bad. And after the 25 minutes, you take a little 5-minute break. In the 5-minute break, I actually love doing one mini quick productive task, going to switch a load of laundry, maybe filling the dishwasher or emptying the dishwasher, going outside to ground in nature for a few minutes, making a cup of tea or getting a little snack, or doing some tidying around my house. And after you do 4 series of the 25-minute blocks, you have a 15 to 20-minute break. That way I feel rejuvenated, I feel rested, and I never get fatigued from doing the same thing for too long. And one of my last little tips is to start your day with affirmations. I started doing this like maybe 2 months ago, and I'm not kidding, it has been so helpful. Like I've seen people comment, what's the point of affirmations? It's just telling myself things that aren't true. Affirmations don't work. It's just like I'm lying to myself. That is not true. And I have a whole podcast episode about how changing your mindset attracts so many amazing things into your life. So if you want to check that out, I will link the podcast. We have a conscious and a subconscious part of our mind. The conscious part of your mind is probably what you think of as you doing the things and making the decisions, but your subconscious mind is back there. It's kind of just on all the time, and it plays a huge role in the way that you feel. I've said this analogy before, and I've heard this analogy before, but it's like your conscious mind is the captain of the ship that can see everything that's going on. It can see what the obstacles are, and the subconscious mind is like the mechanic of the ship or the engineer of the ship that's under the deck. It can't see what's going on. It only takes direction from the captain of the ship. If the captain of the ship says to it, we're about to hit an iceberg, the mechanic of the ship doesn't know if that's true or not, but it has to act as if it is true. It takes it like at face value. So think of that as the captain is your conscious mind, the subconscious mind is the mechanic. Your subconscious mind listens to your conscious mind, it listens to the words that you say to it, and it acts accordingly. So when you're saying affirmations and when you're voicing things out loud, this is why I've also said many times to be very careful about what you actually say, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know if you're just joking when you make self-deprecating comments, and it doesn't know if you're serious when you say positive affirmations out loud. It just takes it at face value. That's why even when you say affirmations and you might be like, this isn't true, like I don't believe this, first of all, just let it go of those self-limiting beliefs and just start doing it. But second of all, it doesn't even matter if you believe it or not in your conscious mind, because over time, your subconscious mind will believe it, will take that to be the truth. And that's why they say, like, if you say it enough, you're gonna start believing it. I feel like such amazing opportunities and things have just been lining up for me in the past few months since I started doing this, and I feel better. Like I feel happy. I feel like the things that I've been saying are true and they're coming true. So I know that was a little bit of like a tangent. I just wanted to prove to you why saying affirmations would actually be helpful. You can say productivity affirmations every morning. That little vision statement that I told you to make, you can say that every single day and remind yourself of it, and you will start to embody them. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and comment this emoji below if you watched all the way up until the end. Also, check out my podcast, Glow and Tell. We talk a lot more in depth about these sort of topics and a lot about self-improvement. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing and productive day, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.